iPhone Shay front-facing camera and sensor cable replacement if your display glass is cracked. Keep further breakage contained and prevent bodily harm during your repair by taping the glass. Lay overlapping strips of clear packing tape over the iPhone's display until the whole face is covered. Remove the two 3.9mm Pentalobe screws from either side of Lightning connector, regardless of the tool you use. You need to be sure you pull up the entire display, if the glass begins to separate from the plastic, as shown in the first image. Slide a plastic opening tool between the plastic frame and the metal phone body to pry the metal clips out of the case. Close the handle on the iSclack. Opening the suction cup jaws, place the bottom of your iPhone in between the suction cups. Against the plastic depth gauge, the top suction cup should rest just above the home button. Open the handles to close the jaws of the iSclack. Center the suction cups and press them firmly onto the top and bottom of the iPhone. Hold onto your iPhone securely and close the handle of the iSclack to separate the suction cups. Pulling the front panel up from the rear case, the iSclack is designed to safely open your iPhone just enough to separate the pieces, but not enough to damage the home button cable. Skip the next 3 steps and continue on step 9. If you don't have an iSclack, use a single suction cup to lift the front panel. Press a suction cup onto the screen, just above the home button, while holding the iPhone down with one hand. Pull up on the suction cup to slightly separate the home button end of the front panel from the rear case. With a plastic opening tool, gently pry the edges of the rear case down, away from the front panel assembly, while you pull up with the suction cup. Pull the plastic nub to release the vacuum seal on the suction cup. Remove the suction cup from the display assembly. Open the phone just enough to reveal the metal bracket covering the home button cable. Only the phone's original home button assembly will be capable of using the Touch ID functionality. If you rip the cable, installing a new home button will only restore ordinary home button functions, not the Touch ID features. Use the tip of a spudger to push the bracket free and remove it with tweezers. Use the flat end of a spudger to snap the front portion of the Touch ID cable bracket down over the cable connector. Use the tip of a spudger to pry the home button cable connector up out of its socket. Open the display to about a 90th angle, and lean it against something to keep it propped up while you are working on the phone. Add a rubber band to keep the display securely in place while you work. This prevents undue strain on the display cables. Remove the two 1.6mm Phillips number 000 screws securing the metal battery connector bracket to the logic board. Remove the metal battery connector bracket from the iPhone. Use the flat end of a spudger to gently pry the battery connector up from its socket on the logic board. 1.7mm Phillips number 000 screw 1.2mm Phillips number 000 screw 1.3mm Phillips number 000 screw 1 more 1.7mm Phillips number 000 screw. Remove the front panel assembly cable bracket from the logic board. Use the flat end of a spudger to disconnect the front-facing camera and sensor cable. While still supporting the front panel, disconnect the LCD cable connector. Finally, disconnect the digitizer cable connector. Remove the front panel assembly from the rear case. 4.0mm Phillips number 000 2.3mm Phillips number 000. Gently dislodge the clip near the bottom left corner of the earpiece speaker bracket, outwards from its recess on the front panel assembly. Remove the bracket from the display. Remove the earpiece speaker with a set of tweezers. Rotate the bracket so it lays flat on the rear case, aligning the two screw holes. Press the bracket into place, ensuring the hook on the right side of the metal bracket latches onto the display. Using an eye opener to soften the adhesive will help safely remove it. Follow our eye-opener instructions to use it. Using the edge of a set of tweezers or a metal spudger, gently pry the earpiece speaker contact cable up. To separate this portion of the camera and sensor cable from the adhesive below, use the point of a spudger to lift the ambient light sensor and proximity sensor out of their recess in the display. Assembly. Use the flat end of a spudger to gently peel the front-facing camera portion of the cable away from the display assembly. Carefully peel the cable assembly off of the LCD shield plate to remove it from the display. Remove any plastic coverings from the microphone on the sensor cable assembly. Remove any clear backing strips from the light sensor, cable and front-facing camera. You may need to use a set of tweezers to fold the microphone portion of the cable so that the gold portion is inside the cable, and the silver unit is on top.